Good evening, Salaam Alaikum, and I hope you had a great day today. Today we're going to have a wonderful session, and we have been doing these sessions quite often for the last 12 years, which is called HR Majlis. Majlis in Arabic means the gathering of people, and we have been doing this HR Majlis for Dubai for 8 years consecutively. And during this Majlis, we bring to you the interesting topics, we bring to you experts, we troubleshoot thoughts, we remove the fallacies, we bring people with knowledge, and we bring personalities to give you the perspective on the different dimensions that continues to emerge. Today, being the 10th of October, the World Mental Health Day. Afternoon, we had a session on the same, which was led by Naila Al-Musawi on positive well-being. We have a series of talks during this HR Majlis for this coming week, wherein every alternate day we will be talking about and the same topic, bringing the experts to give you different dimensions. At the end, we'll be concluding this talk with a very, very significant part of the discussion is how to measure the employee well-being, how to measure the people wellness. Before that, we'll give you a small glimpse about what Global Society for Human Capital stands for. We are fairly young HR society. This is going to be our 12th year. And in 12th year, we have done phenomenal job. We started our journey from Riyadh in 2008. And prior to that, for 2006, we had a small gathering of a Majlis in Saudi Arabia and Oman and in UAE. And since 2005 and 6 onwards till now, we have done a series of conferences where we collaborate with the major organizations to bring you the international speakers. We do HR Majlises like this. We do global annual awards and major events, which our chairperson will give you a small glimpse of it. And we also do HR mentoring program. So with this, we start for today's discussion. But before that, let me introduce our speakers and panelists. So we have today with us Nitin. Nitin is a CPDD from ASTD, and he is from Emirates NBD. We have got Hassan Amin. Hassan Amin is a chapter chairperson of earlier Middle East Society for Human Resource Management, now Global Society of Human Capital Management. We have got Julie, and Julie is an HR professional and she's part of the core group. And of course, we have got today with us Mr. Ali Al-Suwaidi. And the introduction about Ali Al-Suwaidi, I leave it to our chapter chairperson, Hassan Amin. And now over to Mr. Hassan, so he'll take on from here.
Thank you very much, Sandeep. Indeed, it was a pleasure. It is a pleasure being here in HR Majlises. So far, we have done, I think we have done almost maybe past 6-7 years. We are doing this HR Majlises in every quarter, each year. We have done Majlises in universities. We have done Majlises in the hotels. And we have done HR Majlises also in the organizations, big organizations. Now, since the COVID-19, we are doing HR Majlises. We are planning to do HR Majlis online, and this is our first time we are doing HR Majlis virtually. So I wish everyone best of luck in attending this majlises. And today is our first time. I would like to thank each and every one of our panelists joining, and our also guest speaker, which I will take you through and introduce him in a while. Just wanted to let everyone know that Global Society for Human Capital Management has also got global awards from the past 12 years, which is happening annually. And this is, I think, the 12th year, which you can, anyone can apply online. So there is a site for Global Society for Human Capital Management, and you go online and apply for those awards, either organization wise or individual wise. You can go and apply. So, not taking much of your time, let me introduce to you to our guest speaker today, Mr. Ali Suedi, who is the board member of MF. MA, that's MEFMA. It's facility management, I think. He's one of the renowned facility management in the Middle East and Africa region, and currently as the CEO of Global Village. And then let us hear from him, his journey and his career. So maybe Mr. Ali Estuedi, if you can just give us a glimpse of your journey, and then we will talk to you about, I'll post to you some questions about it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hassan. Good evening, everybody. Just to correct, I am the Chief Operating Officer of Global Village, not the CEO, the COO.
Okay.
And at the same time, I'm the Vice President of the Middle East Facility Management Association, and also the board member of a Global Facility Management Association, among other volunteering roles that I play within the asset management, facility management landscape. And I've been into different organizations through months of experience, and I dealt with HR in telecom sector, and real estate sector, and facility management sector, and also important customs. And today I'm dealing with HR also in the entertainment industry. So I've been everywhere working with HR. I'm not an HR person, but of course, I always say anybody deals with people is an HR person. It's not a responsibility of HR department to have the human factor built into his skills. You have to deal with your team, you have to deal with your customer, you have to handle them in the right way. So this is where I think the perception that human capital is just limited to human capital department and it's not my job to handle my staff. I don't think this is the right approach. We all care about our staff. We have to take care of them. So I've been all around, alhamdulillah, UAE, especially Dubai, over the last 22 years. Also, I worked in consultancy missions through my boutique consultancy firm in Kuwait, in Saudi Arabia, in Oman. Of course, interacting with also HR to ensure that we have HR as business enabler, having the right people and having the right motivation and engagement of a staff, because without staff engagement, no business can sustain and no business can grow. So this is my introduction about myself. And please, you can always go and see our volunteering activities. We do monthly events. I'm doing one on Monday in Arabic, and I'm speaking on the African Facility Management Association on Tuesday. So I'm very busy in the volunteering role I play, and proud to represent UAE in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ali Suedi. So let's talk about today's topic, employee well-being. So my first question to you is, so yes, of course, employee well-being. My first question is, how does an overall employee well-being strategy contribute to the overall success of an organization? So, Mr. Ali, what do you think about this?
First of all, I just did a presentation to the International Attraction Association about leadership in organization. But before I answer, because I got the questions just 1 hour ago, just want to make sure my understanding in welfare is the same understanding that you guys as an HR professional. Can you, Hassan, define for me what is employee welfare? I'm now giving you the mic.
Yeah, thank you very much for posting the same question back to me. What I will do is I will talk to Sandeep. I will let Sandeep to answer. Go ahead and answer this question.
Okay.
So, definition, simple definition from an HR guy.
Yes. Employee welfare is what an employer does to an employee apart from the compensation and benefit. It could be in the form of providing a good environment. It could be providing a good and safer workplace. It could be an other benefit with regard to the health and safety. It could be related to ergonomics. It could be also could be related to making the organization suitable for people like disability, and providing some extra other amenities beyond the basic compensation, that is the basic salaries and an incentive. That basically is defined as welfare, that what the employee does it. But since this topic is about employee wellness, this circles around post COVID-19. We had a turbulent time and difficult time, and wherein because of this amazing virus, and the workplace was almost became empty, and there was a lot of scare, there were a lot of concerns, and there was a threat to life. And so employee wellness and employee well-being has now come as a center stage of the business strategy to sustain the business, because there is a fear among the employees of losing life or getting infected to their families. So now we're just trying to understand that how significant now is employee wellness and well-being is for the organization. Because in UAE, the government has taken a lot of initiative, and probably UAE as a country was the first country to declare the normalizing of the workplace among, I'm saying, it could be one of the very few countries all across the world to create an environment of a safe, disease-free, with certain regulations, restrictions, so that the entire disease could be managed, the virus could be spread of, could be managed, whereas along with that the business is sustained. Now at this point of time, we just wanted to hear from a leader like you that how is the wellness is becoming a part of the strategy? Is it just that one of the good to have thing, or has it become the center stage of the strategy? And Global Village being, a service provider, and you're providing a phenomenal services. It's akin to the hospitality industry. So we just wanted to understand that how things are transitioning. Is it becoming a center stage, or still there as a one-off, good to have kind of a?
Okay. Thank you very much for your defining employee welfare. And I'm not talking today in behalf of Global Village, just for all of you. I'm talking behalf of Ali Suwaidi as a person with an experience dealing with people, dealing with HR, leading an industry rather than leading a company. Today in the Middle East, I do a lot of workshop and mentoring, and I work with a lot of organizations. And if you join us on Monday, you will see the potential of our association. We are engaging more and trying to create leaders And the most important thing in creating leaders is training. But it's not about the classroom training. It's the training that makes people change their way of learning, because it's not going to school and going back to the normal work environment. You have to go back to your work environment and you start making the change so you can learn. And this is what we do through our classroom. We are not having instructor to teach, we are having industry professionals, leaders who can teach these employees how to develop themselves. So, from my experience over the last 20 years, I feel it's unfortunate that, employee welfare, the basics are there. Everybody's taking care of the basic safety, even job security, among other. But there is a lot more than that when it comes to employee welfare, because you're not just looking at the physical and the mental, you're looking also at the spirit part of a human being. You have to look at the three things, and then of course the social part, number 4. And this is what we call it total leadership, and this is very important for all of us to create leadership culture.
Looks like there is a slight break in the communication, and we should continue. How about a few thoughts from Nitin by the time Ali joins in? Yeah,
Thank you,
he's back.
Mr.
Is
Ali.
it from me, my side?
Okay,
Because
great.
I know my internet is very strong.
Yeah.
Is it from my side?
Yes.
Did I lose you or you lost me?
No. We were there all. Maybe there's some glitches there. Continue, Mr. Ali.
So what I'm trying to say that it's not just about having a gym or having a time to play sport, or
Exactly.
saying, well done. It's all about creating the bond. And this is what I think is not just in UAE, across the world, how to create this synergy that everybody can trust each other. And this is where I feel the welfare is not just about the basic things. Corona has affected us, but it is not the effect that you think. I think we lost, unfortunately, a lot of people. There was fear at the beginning because you had an enemy that you cannot see, but now we have all the precaution that we can continue to perform and support our organization and support the economy. But for me, it's not about the pandemic. When I look at employee welfare, it's about how to create that bond between you and your employees, how to make them, part of the solution, how to make them business enabler to grow the business. So, and I always say to my employee, your role is not just to do your job and go home. Your role is to think about how to improve yourself, how to improve the process we have. It's not just about doing the same thing every day. It's going to be very boring. You're going to be affected personally. And if you see me, I changed job maybe over 20 years, 22 years. I changed 7 or 8 times. I do my achievement and then I said, let me take a new challenge. And alhamdulillah, luckily I get HR people calling me always to move to the new challenge going forward. One of my tasks was opening the tallest tower in the world. I was the senior director operations in Emaar, Burj Khalifa, and I was the first person to join before opening, 9 months before opening, and I had to hire the whole team. And then we have to hire our subcontractor partners, and then we had to take over from the biggest contractor in the world, the consortium of more than 15 to 20,000 people working in the building. So it was not an easy task, but it's not about the technical capacity, about how to make people engaged, and they see that the mission of opening is their mission, is not just organization mission, and how to make create that synergy so they can perform. You know, people getting sick is not because, I feel, it's not because just not doing exercise. Sometimes it's thinking too much,
Yes.
not having a best friend at work, you know, not creating that transparency. And this is what we need at work. We need to create transparency. We need to be patient with our staff. And this is what I do, at least with my staff. I always tell them, listen, guys, I'm not here to give you an order. I'm here to facilitate and help you to do better, and proud of what you do. You go to your family and tell them that what are you doing at work is amazing, because at the end you need to integrate between family, social life, work, and even a person as a person. We need to integrate. A lot of people I hear, they say, you know, when I'm at work, I have to forget home. When I'm at home, I have to forget work. That's something that's running away from your leadership. You need to integrate. You need to integrate. You need to tell your wife what are you doing at work, and you need to tell your boss what are your challenges at home, and at the same time how you socialize at work. So employee welfare for me is for ease. And I ask always, everybody think engagement, and we have engagement survey. We call the best company to engage our people, but it's not something that you do through a consultant. It's something you build as a culture. It's led by leadership. So I always tell HR, you want a leadership culture, you have to make sure that the CEO understands what's the leadership culture. He's the first person, because as I always say, the CEO is the Chief Growth Officer. And I wish we can change the name from Chief Executive Officer to Chief Growth Officer, because he has to lead everybody for the growth. That's number one. So the culture of the organization should not be reflected by me as the CEO of the company. No. Me as a CEO, I have to learn the culture that we want to reach with, and then we have to cascade down.
We're not able to hear you.
I don't know. Good?
I can hear.
You don't hear me?
You can?
He can hear. Sandeep, you don't have good signal at your end. So what I'm trying to say, unfortunately, I don't want to blame HR, but HR, you know, HR always trying to do their, you know, role as per the policy. But I always say, are we creating synergy? It's not about the job description. The job description is something that helps the staff just to do the job that he's supposed to do. But sometimes there is a lot of integration between the different departments. So if there is no initiative from one person to close the gap, he will suffer. So I always say employee engagement is all about creating the integration and creating harmony between staff. And this is the most important thing. If you want to have the right welfare, you have to create transparency, create appreciation and trust. And, you know, they say open door policy. Open door policy is not about just opening the door. It's by applying the concept that I am a boss. I'm not going to wait for you always to come to my office. Sometime I will go to your office. Please don't come to me. I will come to you. You came and you saw me busy. Now it's my turn to come and see what did you want from me. So this is the culture that we are missing, the human touch culture. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I hope I answered the first question, which is the employee welfare. And I always, you know, make sure that we show we care about our staff. We care about their families. It's not about the 8 hours or 10 hours that he's with us. We care about him the whole time, you know, and we have to show that support. Guys, am I okay with the time? And did I answer the first question?
Perfect. We go to the next one.
Perfect.
Okay, want to go to the next one? What are the three? Hassan, tafadhal.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ali. Before Mr. Ali, I think before you jump on the second question, I would like to listen from our panelists. maybe Nathan can answer this question. Nathan, what do you think about the well-being strategy? Is it successful in the organization? And you would like to add to what Mr. Ali has said?
If I may, I would not like to break the chain of thoughts that Mr. Ali had. I have made so many notes. I can't even tell you the, like we've been hearing a lot of people on YouTube. We've been reading a lot of books, but the way Mr. Ali has explained, it makes so much more sense. And with the passion and the way he's speaking, I don't want to break the chain of thoughts. I think we should continue. This is like online course happening for us. This is directly from the expert, full passion, and it's not about the designation. I think it's his experience, and it shows that he's the person who's working closely with the employees and HR, and he understands. And I have a lot to say, but I would let Mr. Ali continue.
Okay, thank you very much, Nathan. Okay, Mr. Ali, in your opinion, what are some of the benefits of having an employee well-being strategy for both the employee and the organization? So why it is important?
It is important because at the end, without the employees, nobody will move this company. It's you always have to appreciate people performance, and even the guy who plug in, even the IT person who is behind the scene, you don't see how important he is. Once the IT system fail, you'll say, oh my God, we got business impact. And this is where I always say, we have to show that we care about our employee and we take care of them. But I feel it's how you have, it's always about the boss, about how to make sure that the managers in the organizations can handle people, how they deal with their staff, how they facilitate them. So it's this again, my definition. Can you hear me, guys, or I lost you all?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I always say that if the manager is very bad, the employee welfare will be horrible. Whatever you do, they might show that they're happy, but inside themselves they're not happy. So this is where I think it's all about the training the managers who handle people in people management skills, make sure that they understand how to engage their employee. That is very important. How to support them in doing their job. That is very important. Creating the social activities, because sometimes some people love basketball. You make basketball tournament, or some people love football. So these kind of annual, semi-annual activities can bring people together. So I think it's important for us to enlighten people. The direction is very important. A lot of people say we do town hall meeting, and it's unfortunate. Town hall meeting has to be two-way. Number one, you have to give the plan that you are doing as top management, and then you have to listen to staff.
We have some break in communication.
Very
I think he's back.
Mr. Ali, we lost you.
Yeah,
I don't know. This is first time. I'm always using Zoom and Microsoft Teams, and this does not happen to me. Anyway, I'm looking at my signal and it's full. So what I wanted to say that it's important for all of us to enlighten people, give them direction, tell them what we are doing, what we want to do. It's not just about the job description. What is our target? What is our priorities? Where are we going? And in this critical time, that is very important for all of us, to enlighten people, to empower people, involve people, and then finally, you know, evolve. So you need to engage them, you need to empower them, and very important, before you empower and engage, you need to enlighten them, tell them what's happening around. You know, again, in the different industry, there is a lot of industry that are hit badly by the pandemic, like cinemas. You know, people will not go to the cinema. During this time, you have to communicate to your people. You have to not to keep them in dark. Some industries are recovering faster, like the F&B industry. In this case, you have to show staff that when you wear a mask, you're not just protecting others, you're protecting yourself as well, because you are the person who will meet more people. So the chance that you're gonna get the disease is more. So you have to wear the mask, you have to wash your hands, so you can protect yourself. So I always say the 4 E's are important: enlighten, empower, engage, and finally the company will be enabled to grow, evolve. When you evolve, the employee has to be part of that you know, evolution. And I always say this is the time of evolution. There is no roadmap. The strategy cannot be clear. You know, you have a pandemic and you don't know when it's going to be back to normal. So you always have to bring people together, communicate effectively, engage them in the problem solving, you know, make them part of the people who will try to create ideas, like creative ideas, big ideas, small ideas. And to tell you the truth, in Global Village, we are doing a lot of this during the pandemic. We did not freeze. Of course, Global Village was closed, but we create a lot of initiatives like X for 25. So this is season 25. We wanted to have 10 amazing ideas for this season. And alhamdulillah, the team working together. Initially, we were meeting, and then finally, we were doing it through Zoom. We had more than 200 ideas. We are implementing more than 15. And I think it's all about how you give the authority to your staff. And this is where we say empower. Everybody wants to keep the authority. No, give it to the staff. Let them lead. Let them present. Let them make it their own, you know, solution. So this is where I have to say the 4 E's are very important. They're not easy to implement, but it's all about first enlightening people. I don't have all the answers, guys. We are looking at the industry. We are looking at what's happening elsewhere. We know that Dubai and UAE is one of the leading cultures of leadership and change. And if it's going to happen, it's going to happen here in UAE. We are a change agent. I'm used to change. You can see me, I changed jobs 9 times in 20 years. And they say, Ali, you always start from the beginning, start from zero. And I said, I have no problem. I'm not worried about changing my job, because I know it's all about how can you bring energy into people, make them part of the solution and the vision. And I always say how to make people see the benefit they will get, not just the organization get. And I remember a simple example in Burj Khalifa before opening. I saw the technicians and cleaners walking very tired, very sad. They are not my employee. They're other organization employee working in the Burj. I called all of them to a room at that time in 2009. And I said, guys, my name is Ali Suwaidi. I'm the Senior Director Operation in Burj Khalifa. And guys, you are the people who will be behind the opening of Burj Khalifa. You have to be proud. If you come out of this job without learning anything about the tower, you missed a big opportunity. You have to tell your family that you are doing and operating the tallest tower in the world. You have to make your son proud. So after that meeting, I felt there was more energy in people, because you showed them the vision. The benefit is not just for Emaar or for Dubai to open the tower. Everybody worked in the tower, were behind making that achievement. And alhamdulillah, even Emaar, if you go to Burj Khalifa while coming down, you will see my pictures there, but you will see also one of the cleaners. You will see one of the crane operators. You will see the security guard. You will see around 200 people representing different culture and different organization. It's not the achievement of UAE and Dubai, it's the achievement of the whole world. Everybody came together from India, from Europe, from America, and we, under the leadership of Sheikh Mohammed and the UAE leadership, we built the tallest tower in the world. It's not about money. Guys, everybody has money, but building a super tall building like this in a short period, 6 years, it takes 15 to 20 years. It requires a huge leadership, and it requires a culture of change that today, I think we have the biggest tool that we have is adapting to change and going. And you can see Dubai airport is one of the first airport who took the initiative to take over the COVID-19 test cost on their own, on their shoulder, because they're not worried. They have to adapt to change. And this is where I say change is constant. And if we want to create welfare, we have to make people accept change and move and learn new skills, because people will lose job if they don't learn new skills. And this is where we have to tell people it's your time. And I will tell you, sorry, I'm taking more time. One simple story, and the guy is in Dubai. His name is Malik, and I took permission to tell his story. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
So Malik, in 1993, he's from India, Kerala. He was a cleaner. His salary was 800 dirham. Today, he's a senior manager running the facility management for Roxy, not for Roxy, sorry, for Majid Al Futtaim, Vox Cinema, and other projects. He's the senior manager. His salary is 35,000. He started 800 dirham in Dubai. What did he do, guys? He learned the culture of Dubai on UAE. While he's working as a cleaner, 12 hours, too tiring, but he learned how to use computer. Then he became cleaning supervisor. Then he became a bid executive. So he learned how to price what he was doing, consumables and manpower. Then he became a manager. And a certain part of his career, he was managing super tall building for the MAC. And I always talk to him. I say, Malik, I'm really proud of you. You learned how to take and change and learn and get a new skill. And I think this is what human capital is about, how to make people adopt and change and learn. And it's all, I think, as Sheikh Mohammed says, every human being has capabilities to do the impossible.
Yes.
Every human being. And I don't remember the full quote, but this is what His Highness is always saying. He believes in people. Nobody is born with a different brain. Everybody has the same brain. So you have to believe in yourself, and you have to create that culture in your organization. And this is how you'll get ideas.
Absolutely. I think the change is a changeless law that says.
Yeah, exactly. So what
Next
else
one.
I want to cover?
Hassan.
What is the time, guys? When do we close this session? Because
We have
talk about leadership.
22 minutes more to go.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ali, for the second question. Let's move on to the third question. I think
You want to hear from Julie or Julie?
Julie, we will hear from Julie, but in a bit, because let's finish off the third question, and then we are freely open to as many as questions comes in. The third question is, what are the two critical factors of success that can make or break the implementation of an employee well-being strategy? And what are some of the blockers that organizations should avoid?
Again, the blockers are more of, I always say, people think it's stick and carrot. You see how they use the word stick and carrot. When you say stick first, nobody will think about the carrot. Everybody will be afraid of the stick. And I don't like to use this word, stick and carrot. And I hope they can delete it from management, because this is the wrong terminology to use. It's all about, when it is a group, it's all about reward. A stick is only for abnormal condition. You cannot say stick and carrot. You always say reward, reward, reward. Reward is not just money. Reward is appreciation. Reward is achieving companies' goals, and we all are proud of that. And this is where I remember one small story of a guy. He was under me when I was in Etisalat early in my role. His name is Farouk. We sent him to training, and he came and say, now still I have good relationship with him, and all his daughters got married, and I just checked with him. They are all married. He went to Pakistan, but his daughters are here. It was, I'm not very old, but it was, 1998 or 99. He came to me fighting. Ali, why you're not giving me overtime? I'm the engineer, and you're the technician, and you're coming fighting with me? I didn't say anything. I said, Farouk, please, don't discuss now, you're angry. I went and asked, what's wrong with this guy? I asked his friend. He said, this guy, his salary is below 4,000, and his daughters have to go back to Pakistan because the law is below 4,000, you cannot have family visa. So I said, it's always, there is a reason for a guy to get annoyed. Sometimes you have to understand the person. He is very good in his skills, but his family issues will affect him. So, alhamdulillah, we helped him somehow to keep his family, and he became an amazing talent. So I always say, the manager have to use his human touch. It's not about, guys, it's not about qualification. It's about being a human, thinking about other people you're dealing with like you're dealing with yourself. How to have empathy for people. Because if you want him to be productive, if you scare him, when you leave, he's not going to be working. He doesn't care. Some people finish the job in 1 minute, or let's say 1 day, but they keep it in their drawer for 1 month, because if he gave you the job, you're not going to appreciate it. You're going to load him with more and more. So he doesn't want to be that guy who can be more productive. He's going to go as per the book. And it's unfortunately in some organization, I talk to guys, I say, why you're not thinking out of the box? He says, Ali, here, I have to leave my brain at home and just follow the instruction. And this is what will kill employee welfare, is not enabling them to speak, making them just listen to their bosses. I think this culture of listening to the boss, and I don't even like the word boss. And I always say, why do you call me boss? My name is Ali. I'm not your boss here. We work for the same organization. We are all employee. I do my job, you do your job. So HR, please help us to change this concept of boss. Nobody's boss. We are all employee. We are all in one team. There is a captain, there is a coach, but there is no boss. Even in football, there is no boss. So I hope in organization, we don't have the word boss. And it's an easy word to please people with. Even they use it in sales. But I think it kills creativity in people, and it enables, unfortunately, employee welfare to be not an important. It's just, I always say, engagement is not about, I am happy. It's really, I am happy. I feel happy. I can give you my ideas. So this is number one, is creating the transparency, the respect, having the skills that will help people to develop themselves and grow. And number two, of course, giving people room to make mistake, giving people room to take decisions. We have a lot of bosses who just want you to listen and take instruction, not to take decision yourself. I learned it the hard way. I had this problem before, but then I said, listen, if I know the answer, why do I have to say it? Sometimes I wait for the guy to give me, because he might know the answer, but he have to explore the answer. I've dealt with a lot of UAE nationals and a lot of people who worked under me, and I always say, I'm learning and they're learning. We are all learning. It's not like I'm the expert. Still, I'm learning how to manage people. And again, as I told you, very important to feel for the other person, know more about his country, maybe his family, where are they, how he's managing his day. So it's all creating that human bond. If you don't do it, that's a big roadblocker to you. What else?
Brilliant. We heard, Ali, I was when we were having a discussion before, we invited you for a talk, and we were saying that these are the times where we need to hear from somebody who is so closely involved with the people. So that's how I suggested your name, because you have seen almost an entire Middle East. You have seen the leaders all across the Middle East. You are working actively in Saudi Arabia. You are working actively in Kuwait. You're working actively in Oman, Abu Dhabi, Dubai. So you have seen leaders, in very, very close quarter. And you have worked with some of the fantastic organizations. And hearing from you to understand about, especially in these times of crisis, wherein people are getting isolated, the statistics are quite amazing. It says that more than 60-70% of the people have negatively or adversely got affected as compared to in the March statistics, and a lot of fear of isolation is there among the people, and there's a lot of fear among the people. I think so. Your solution of engaging people, and especially the message, not only to the HR, but the message to the organization leaders, that how to transform their thinking and how to start viewing or analyzing this new situation from the different perspective, different dimension, will give some space for the people to think about it, and it will help, and it will go a long way for the organization to rejuvenate their entire organization and the business from the different dimensions. We don't, otherwise, we talk about business numbers, finances, numbers and all. But at the end, there is the softer part, which you said, the softer part of the human is involved in the organization to make or break it.
Sandeep, let me give you a simple story. I'm sorry to interrupt. I was handling Souk Al Jubail, and please, I invite you all to go to Souk Al Jubail. It is in Sharjah. It's fish, vegetable, and meat.
I've been there.
So I worked there in July. I joined in July 2015. And suddenly His Highness came last week of November, and he said, you have to open in December 1st, 2015. And I was the person, unfortunately, in that setup. It was even harder than opening Burj Khalifa. I had 50 Nepalis hired from Nepal to be in the fish section with me. And, Nepal has no sea. And then I had the vegetable and the meat was leased, but the fish section, His Highness says, you have to hire people, buy fish from fishermen, and sell fish to the end user. You have to create a balance. You have to make it affordable, and you have to make the fishermen part of your ecosystem. So we were like buying fish and selling fish to the end user. I went to the old market, and we had 400 people who were about to lose their job, from Bangladesh, from India, from Pakistan, and they had no communication skills. They were very bad in hygiene. And when I came to them, they say, Ali, you're lying to us. You're going to hire us for 2-3 months and then fire us and get other people. I said, who told you this? He said, some people told us. I said, the people told you. They don't want you to get this opportunity, because you guys, unfortunately, if you don't join us, of course, you're going to lose your job. If you join us, I promise, I take all your visas to His Highness and he will approve. Especially the people from Bangladesh, if you cancel them, they will never come back. So alhamdulillah, within 1 month, I convinced 100 people to join. And within the next month, I had all of them joined us. Today, if you go to the fish market, all the Pakistani in the fish cutting section, they are certified on hygiene. They use computer to take the exam. We had an ecosystem, and it's about not me. I went to them. I said, guys, you have to be proud in front of His Highness when he comes and open the market officially. What do you want? Simple request like an Arabic bathroom, or I said, guys, I know you don't have food. There is no food here, and I cannot give you a break. I'm going to bring you buffet. breakfast, lunch, dinner for the whole year. My management says, you're crazy. It is almost like 1.5 million. I said, please, I'm in charge now. The target of that market was 29 million. We hit in the first year 69 million.
Wow.
It's not me, it's the people, because I brought these people, I listened to them. We put a very nice system from the store to the sales. I said, listen, I don't know this guy, what he does. He sell shark, he sell this kind of fish, this guy sell Malayalam fish, this guy sell Filipino fish. I said, guys, you are not competing with each other now. It's not like the old market. You're paying lease. You're all employee. You're going to get your insurance. You're going to get your tickets. You're going to get paid salary when you go home. I said, what? I said, you're going to get all this. And this is what happened. You have to believe in people's skills. It's not about sometimes qualification. If I go and hire people qualified to speak, but they don't know the business of fish, what I was going to do? So this is really a simple story. I'm happy to go with you. You can see that culture that we built. It's just how to manage people, respect people. I learned a lot. I know that Pakistani, you don't insult the guy in front of the others. Why? Because it's a culture. If this guy is not obeying, you have to take him aside. Don't talk to him. Talk to the big senior people in the group. Tell them, come, Mr. Bakhsh, come. This guy is not obeying. I need your help. He's going to change. If you go and fire him, everybody will leave you. We had groups, Nepalis alone, Bengali alone, Indian alone, Pakistani alone. I said, guys, I don't care about where are you from. We are here to be proud of what you do and tell our families our successful story. And we were doing dinner. I know they were tired, but still doing dinner at 10 o'clock in the evening after we closed the fish market, dancing, celebrating, everybody speaking in his language. We created an amazing culture in 2 years. Unfortunately, after that, I had to leave them, but it was a nice experience for me. It's all about, you know, I say now it's a crisis. People are doing only leadership crisis management. Nobody is doing leadership adaptation. There is two things, Sandeep. It's not about firing people. This is not a smart guy. This is a simple person who will say, oh, how much I have to reduce in my cost? Let me fire people. That's right. A short plan. It's going to make you fail if you continue just firing people. It's about your leadership adaptation. How you can adapt to the new way. How can you go to the field with your people, not sitting in the office and looking at numbers. And I always say, and I am sure Sheikh Mohammed has proven to everybody, when he goes around in a mysterious way and visiting all the department and appreciating the people who are on the field. So it's all about adaptation now. It's not about crisis management. Crisis management is over for 3 months. Then how can you be creative to adapt to the new situation? Don't wait until the situation over, because people think, oh, it's a temporary. Let me wait until it's over. I know some business restaurant owner, he says, let me close and only open when the corona goes. That's a wrong decision, because if you are closed, you're not going to learn, you're not going to adapt. Other people will pass you. It's not about freezing, it's about adapting. I hope I don't want to talk more, but you have to have crisis management leadership and you have to have adaptation leadership. And in Global Village, you can see if you go to our website, we learned more about the pandemic. We are ready. We trained our people. We did a lot of, you can say, drill exercises. And this is what's happening in the whole Dubai and UAE. We are adapting and we are learning to overcome this issue.
And I think so. Your message is what you have said, Ali. You can find it in our awards, both awards which we have launched this year, both Global Corporate Award and the People Epic Leadership Award. There is everything is all about situational leadership, how to change, how to adapt, risk management, sustainability, these are the things is inspired by that. So we have tried to incorporate those spirit of the spirit of UE into our award. Yes, Hassan, to you.
Thank you, Sandeep, and thank you, Mr. Ali. I think we have learned a lot during this Majlis. What I will do is, I think we have Nitin and Julie with us, who will be talking about something on during this pandemic. The biggest challenge is fatigue, and how we cross or come across fatigue, and what are the things we can, overcome this fatigue. So, Mr. Nitin and Julie.
Thank you, Hassan. Thank you, Mr. Ali Al-Swedi. This is amazing session. Personally, I see. It's not that we've not heard all these things before, but the way you said it, and what happens that we make strategies here. Let me put that in the camera. And sometimes the operations is here, like some a little far. The strategy is here and the operations. What you were saying is the applicability, that whatever we are strategizing, is it something that we can apply on the job. So that was really amazing. And regarding fatigue, Hassan, I think Mr. Ali picked that up very well. Some of the notes I've made is that giving them job security, creating that synergy, where, and then he also talked about integrating the work life, and that is something I've never heard before. The integrating work life with the office life. So some people might have touched it, but not somebody from the business talking. And that made so much sense, that the manager should know what is happening with home, and a wife should know what is happening with office. So that create that energy and having transparency. There is another note I made. So these are really good insights, and completely we keep talking about the things that we can do, we can add on to. However, these are the strategies, or actually these are the things that should be a habit rather than a checklist. And we should be part of a manager's skill, where it was spoken that the HR should enable managers or work closely with managers in training or on the job uh, things, or mentoring programs, and how we can make sure that these things are applied also, not just people know about it, these are applied also. And also we know about this concept of mystery shopping. We've seen so many videos of his highness himself going and giving surprise visit, and actual example given by Mr. Ali Al Suwaidi, like the fish market example, and then the Burj Khalifa cleaning staff example, where that was not required at his level to go and talk to such at that level. He can pass on the message through very effective communicator in his team, but when it is coming from the leader, that makes a huge difference. We all know.
We have got 1 minute left to close the session.
Sorry, Julie, you want to add something? Sorry for. Thank you.
I'd just like to say thank you very much. Just to take a step back, I've been fortunate to be in the Middle East, in Dubai, in the UAE, since the 1970s. So it was great hearing Mr. Al Suwaidi talk about this country and the leadership. I can say that in 2016, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed actually launched the National Program for Happiness and Well-being. It was actually presented by Her Excellency Hud bin Khalfan Al Rumi, and a lot of what that plan is what Mr. Al Suwaidi has actually outlined out here, and it falls under 4 big buckets: instilling purpose, I think you talked about that very well, Mr. Suwaidi, is instilling purpose, promoting health, building relationships, and fulfilling potential. So I think, those are the four big umbrellas under which the UAE happiness strategy has been formed. And the framework for happiness and well-being that our leaders in this country have actually put out is exactly these four pillars, and you've spoken about it very well, Mr. Al-Suwaidi. So, and you're obviously practicing it. So, as a people practitioner, as an HR practitioner, I absolutely totally agree with you. We don't build strategies and work plans in an ivory tower in isolation. Our objective is always to go to employees and understand what the employee experience is, both at home, at work, understand what that experience is, and then go back and help design it, co-create and design a well-being strategy with them. So they are part of the process from day one when you design it, as opposed to you design it in your ivory tower and you come back and you launch it and implement it, it's sure to fail. If you actually do what Mr. Al-Suwaidi does, is go in there and understand what's going on and then design a well-being strategy, knowing the stories like you have put out there, that's a great well-being strategy. And you've got the framework that this lovely country has already built up. So I don't have anything more to add to that.
Hassan, vote of thanks. We have already shot by 1 minute.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Julie. First of all, I would like to thank all our guest speaker, Mr. Ali Al-Suwaidi, and our panelists to join today's HR Majlis. And before we close with Sandeep with the closing remarks, like all our HR Majlises, let us have one group photo. So everyone, maybe you can smile and take as much as photos as required, which Sandeep may use also for his next HR Majlises as well. So please have a good smile.
So you will allow me to honor this, the picture?
And yes. Guys, I'm sorry I didn't come in Kandura. I was doing my 8-kilometer run, and then I had to take a shower, and I was in my sport.
Yes, very nice. So Sandeep, go ahead and take.
Thank you, Mr. Ali, and for your kind time. I know we caught you in your tough business situation. You have a lot of engagements, and really appreciate. I have a long association with Ali, and we know each other for quite some time. I've been associated with MEFMA, Middle East Facility Management Association, where he plays a very crucial role in making that institute run and expanded across the Middle East and Africa region. Thank you to you, and thank you all the panelists. We will come back on 12th again with the second part of the Majlis, and we're going to bring a fantastic speaker, and you will hear a lot about wellness and well-being from the speaker. And then on the 14th, we're going to speak about and talk about the analytics. Thank you so much, and wish you a very good evening. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, everybody. Take care. See you.